my name is Stefanie, and now I would like to tell you about the human trafficking case in Cambodia. Human trafficking is one of the most serious human rights issues facing the world today. The UN Protocol on Human Trafficking defines trafficking in persons as the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of persons by means of the threat or use of force or other forms of coercion, abduction, fraud, deception, the abuse of power or benefits to achieve the consent of a person having control over another person for the purpose of exploitation. The consent of a victim trafficking in persons to the intended exploitation is in forms of sexual exploitation, forced labor or services, slavery or other similar practice, servitude, or the removal of organs shall be irrelevant where any of the means set forth have been used. Human rights issues almost happen in every country in this world. Cambodia is one of the countries that have so many cases of human trafficking. Men, women, and children who are trafficked for the purpose of slave labor and commercial sexual exploitation travel through, arrive, and leave from Cambodia. Most women and girls are trafficked to Thailand and Malaysia for exploitative labor as domestic workers and forced prostitution, while Cambodian children are trafficked to Thailand and Vietnam for sexual exploitation, selling candy or flowers, and shine shoes. There are a lot of causes, factors of human trafficking in Cambodia. The causes of human trafficking in Cambodia include poverty, lack of education, lack of alternative employment, debt bondage, and other social and cultural factors such as corruption, gender inequality, and outstanding debts. In some cases, because of poverty pressure, the parents consent to allow their daughter to go with traffickers, and from here the parents believe that they will be offered reasonable jobs that will supplement the family income. Because of this problem and the lack of access to adequate education for women and children as well as the gender inequality that occur make human trafficking a lot of people do in the hope of getting a better life. In order to adhere to the regional MOU agreement on the eradication of human trafficking and the provision of aid for victims, Cambodia established the National Task Force. The 10 articles which constitute this NTF discuss issues like the implementation of MOUs, the necessity of better cooperation between working groups at the local and provincial levels, and a deal between Vietnam and Cambodia as well as Thailand. The Department of Human Trafficking, Ministry of Women Affairs, is responsible for handling cases of human trafficking in Cambodia. The ministry is devoted to fighting human trafficking. Its initiatives include a campaign to raise awareness of safe migration and human trafficking, as well as education and capacity building, the development of child protection networks, projects to reduce poverty, and disaster relief initiative funded by Microedit. Every year, the trafficking of women and children into sex slaves is increasing due to the factors previously mentioned. Many of victims suffer unrelenting physical and mental trauma as a result of years of torture and abuse in brothel. The Cambodian women and children who live in poverty, lack of education, and social stereotypes to support family income are vulnerable to human trafficking to sex exploitation. The situation is getting worse because of the poor support from the government to solve this problem. Existing agreements and institutions to address this issue are often difficult to implement due to the support of people in power in Cambodia.